It's a case with many twists and turns, and now the plot has thickened in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial. It's been postponed to Monday following the revelation of a second docket. Now, that docket says that the people who were in the house when the soccer player was shot dead should be charged with murder and defeating the ends of justice. ENC's Slindelo Masikane has been in court all along tracking this story for us, but this morning she joins us outside the home of Meyiwa's then-girlfriend, Kelly Khumalo, in Vosloorus. Slee, good morning to you. And appreciate you, of course, giving us this update. Let's start here. Court proceedings resuming on Monday. Why is this, though?
Well, of course, since as far back as the cross-examination of Advocate Malisela Defo, we've been aware of what's been called the 375 docket. This is the other investigation, the investigation which took place with a different set of investigators. It has a different scenario that it paints in terms of what happened in this home behind me. And it also points to those who were in the house as being the ones who should be charged with the murder of Senzo Meyiwa. According to this particular docket, from what we understand, is that it says that Kelly Khumalo, who was Meyiwa's girlfriend as well as the mother of his daughter at the time, she apparently mistakenly shot him with a revolver, and subsequent to that there was a cover-up that ensued in terms of high-ranking police officials who allegedly came to this home after the murder, and a plan was then cooked essentially to then try and ensure that a plan around a murder, a robbery that had gone wrong was going to be said to have taken place here. And from what we understand from Advocate Zandile Mshodolo, who was busy with her cross-examination of Sergeant Thabo Mosia, who was collecting forensic evidence following that murder, she says that this particular docket she has not been made aware of by the state, because now it was introduced by Advocate Defo, an indictment as well as an affidavit that was deposed by Mosia in relation to the 375 docket, where he concedes that he does believe that there may have been an issue with the scene, that it may have been compromised before his arrival. This is how Advocate Defo had introduced the 375 docket. Mosia saying that he wasn't aware that he was deposing an affidavit in relation to another docket in connection with this case. So what Zandile Mshololo is saying is that now she needs time to be able to look through this docket and what and how it affects her client, and to be able to craft a defense. She's also said that it's shameful on the part of the state that she's only receiving this docket now.
So with that being said, have we had a chance to speak to the Meyiwa family?
Yes, we have. We have spoken to Senzo Meyiwa, who has, from the beginning of this trial, even before, in terms of the accused making their first appearances in the lower courts, he's maintained that he doesn't believe that the men in the dock are responsible for the death of his brother. We had an opportunity to speak to him in terms of the development so far. Let's take a listen.
Kodwa siyazi ukuthi kwisini kunamaphoyisa afika lapha nezikhulu ezithile kwaqala kwabanje meeting ukuze kungashiwo iqiniso lokuthi uSenzo wadubuleka ngephutha kade exabana noZandi, ngoba iyona into esusa umsindo kade exabana noZandi kwasuka umsindo lapho ngalokho ngeke ngiye kuma details. Kodwa ke siyazi ukuthi kwase kufika izikhulu ezithile kwathiwa no lento ayigoqwe, kuthiwa no kungena igebengu endlini zazobamba inkunzi wagcina uSenzo edubuleka kanjalo, futhi amanga lawo. Siyazi futhi nokuthi kwa isini yaklinwa isini kunanomama nje sengizomusho ngoba sebemshilo bengathanda ukusho uMamphiri. Siyazi kudala ukuthi wafika lapha endlini waklina kahle kade esho nawe uSayitsheni Msiya ethi akabonanga uSenzo wawelapha lapha ngoba la wakhona kwakunegazi kodwa baklina.
Now, in turn, Kelly Khumalo's lawyer, Slee, is surely watching these developments quite closely.
Certainly so, and she maintains that her client wants her day in court. In fact, when we spoke to her yesterday, she indicated that her client had said to her she doesn't understand why she hasn't been called to be the state's first witness in this matter, because she was in the home when this murder took place. And we are seeing reports that have surfaced overnight, Dumelo, that apparently Kelu Khumalo and her sister have signed a deal with Netflix to do a docu-series around what happened on the night. I have asked Magdalene Munsami to respond to these reports, and she says that she will be getting back to me in terms of confirming or denying this deal, because it's alleged to be worth around 22 million rand. But let's take a listen to what she had to say around the latest developments in court.
I've not seen the docket. However, there was a point when Defense 124 sent me a submission that he had made regarding representations for stoppage of prosecutions in terms of the Criminal Procedure Act, where he has made his own submissions and his own observations that he sent to myself. The content of the docket is not known to myself, neither is it known to my client. Over and above, we have never been approached by the state, by any of its apparatus, by the police on 375. We have been compliant on 636, but 375 has not been part of our cooperation, knowledge, etc. We need to know the facts that are in that docket. So once we understand the facts of the docket, which we will be requesting from the state prosecutor, and as I said previously, our formal submissions, we will then be able to establish from that point what the facts are and how do we proceed with those facts, and whether that docket was really then one that was officially authorized and verified. And I will also be making further formal submissions with regard to the fact that upon jurisdiction in court proceedings, the first point of departure is jurisdiction. Whether it is quantum or any in a criminal matter, it would be what was the scene of the crime and why was the docket then in Pretoria? So if this is the case, that should have been raised as a fundamental point of dispute by Defense 124 and 5, because jurisdiction is critical in proceedings.
Now, the defense for accused 1 to 4 will still be pushing for a trial within a trial, Slee?
We understand so. We had an opportunity to speak to him yesterday with regards to this postponement, and he has mentioned that he's unhappy with it, but he says he's not going to let that issue go in terms of pushing for a trial within a trial in terms of this matter, especially that now that the 375 docket has actually been acknowledged by the High Court in terms of being in relation to this case. And he also says that some crucial evidence was stolen from the 375 dockets. Let's take a listen.
Yeah, thanks, Lee. The 375 is not, it's a common cause. That docket was opened in 2019 by the investigating officer of the same docket, who initially they were together. They were a team of 4 before that docket of 375 was opened. So all of them, the Makubo and the Geninda, they were on 636. It was after a crucial statement was stolen out of 636 by one of them. Then that's when this second docket came in, because in the 375 there is an allegation of the defeat in the end of justice against one of the police officers. Hence we've got the 2 dockets today. Yeah. Yes.
That's where we leave it, colleague. I appreciate the update. Slindelo Masikane following through with the Senzo Meyiwa trial.